Yeah, this is point black coming in hard off the card. Now I see Como up there today talking all this stuff about he's not gonna let people attack this and do this and all this different stuff. I understand what he's saying. What he's trying to present to the people and say that it's all right to do is to stop the freedom of speech based on the fact that you are found in a scandal based on the nursing home. Now, you cannot take that out on the people because the people are speaking the truth based on trying to see what we call good medicine. Good medicine, good practice, and no schemes. Now, because you want to trump up and say that there's a virus and there's a vaccine to solve the viral problem, is not solving any problem at all because you never really showed in true evidence that there is a virus based on what you're saying. So that means that the people have not done any true research into what you're saying and you're leading the people astray. But good medicine is not what we're fighting against. We're fighting against the corrupt politicians or politics or people who choose to have an agenda of a left or right wing, whether it be Ku Klux Klan or any kind of group or Luciferian or Luciferian groups such as the different deep state groups, that they mention, who has an agenda inside of what we call government. Now, the government in which people see a lot of is the government in which you see every day, who are dishonoring the treaties of even the native people and black people as a whole. Nobody is here to convince anybody about anything to do with any vaccines that you put out to try to distort the truth from what you say is supposed to be good medicine. But we have to have an honest understanding here based on the fact that you have a vaccine program that has not explained nothing at all to the people, really not showing any side effects, and really saying that you must just take it. Who does Como think is his child? And since when the government is allowed to suppress people from the truth? And only your opinion or your facts must go through and you must not say anything. So that means there's an infiltration within the government that should not be there in the hospitals and everywhere else. Nursing homes, hospitals, CDC, all of them. Where's the truth in all that you're doing? You're claiming facts and you're saying this. But when we look at Como and what he did in the nursing home and what went on, is no excuse. So Como, my question is, who's lying? And who's trying to do the hurt here? You're using your power now to come down on the people and because you got caught. Because you got caught. That's unfair practice. And that goes for any elected official in our government. That is your problem. All that garbage you up there saying on TV about you ain't gonna let people get away with this and get away with that, you only doing it because you got caught. So now you want to victimize the people for your mistakes. Now you want to come messing and fucking with freedom of speech because you got caught. So you want to now silence the truth of the facts of which people have saw and exhibit for themselves. So now you trying to tell the people about their family in the nursing homes and everybody else outside that says something about it is lying. This is what you're trying to say. But that is untrue. You know what I'm saying? Because no one's going to take a vaccine that is in a good, healthy condition based on a herd immunity that you trying to ramp up and control the minds of these people and their economy, their money, their school, and everything and bag and tag everybody with a vaccine. You're an elected official. What the hell you got to do with coming down on people as if you were a Gestapo in Germany just before the war? Where people can't argue the fact of a vaccine. That is criminal when you really look at that. That is criminal because the people should have a choice, not going off of just what you say, but the choice of many. Because once it happens and they get hurt, where you gonna be? Are you gonna come out and solve the problem, or you just gonna get on TV and say, "Well, oh, we made a mistake, but now we're gonna clean it up"? And after all those people are already hurt, we're not in a democratic left-wing groove. You got to cut that out. People have to fend for their lives for themselves, not based on the rule of government saying that they have to do it because it's a disease and we're protecting you against you and you against us. Don't try that trick. It still comes down to a person's life and death that he must make that last choice and have his last wishes based on that happening. Not the government. So who are you fooling with that speech about how you're going to take this person out and take that person? You need to straighten out what you have done and caused for it to even be a scandal, because you should not have had no vaccine program in our country based on any disease at all that we didn't even know existed, but only existed in your world in the nursing home and hospital. So who caused the virus then? If it is true. Now you trying to cover it up by bullying the people, and they can't say anything because you big bad Cuomo and everybody shut them out because everybody else is harming the people and this and that. And we trying to save them with vaccines, but we're not harming anybody. What we're doing is bringing a difference of opinion. If that's the case, then you should speak about the numerous side effects that are going on. I've never heard him really speak about any of that. Whether the facts of whether facts of it is true or not, it still needs to be examined based on the fact that you're asking people to take an experimental vaccine. What part don't Como understand? You back to doing the garbage you did in the nursing home again. But now you want to put the blame on people who just trying to protect themselves and keep people informed as to the choices that they make without any true evidence, facts, or research, only based on what the government says. That cannot be, because you're ramping people up and you're making them angry. Certain people are not going to go for that all across the world. Just because you in New York State and using your power to suppress information or suppress the truth or suppress any kind of talk based on only what you saying has to stop. No governor should have that kind of power to come down on the people based on just an opinion or in looking into facts of their own. So if that's the case, then Como, you come out here. I tell you what, since that's the case, right? What he's saying, then tell Como to come out here and raise everybody's family, just him alone, and raise all the families and the children and everybody. You know what I'm saying? Make sure they're fed, they eat, they clothed, they got a roof over their head, they got money, they got a future, they got housing, they got water, they got all kinds of good shit, and you come out here, we'll go, everybody in America, gonna pack up and leave, and we'll leave all our children our responsibilities, and you take care of it all. Just sitting up on that chair, you sit up there on TV and get a little sound bite, don't mean anything to us at all. No one trusts. Only the people who seem to trust you is the one that will follow you. Now you want everybody else to follow you. Como talking about misinformation. But you had misinformation from the very beginning. And when somebody say anything, you don't want them to say anything about that. Because only you can think for us like a Democrat always do. You want to think for everyone. And you think that everybody is stupid because you're following a slavish, wicked policy that has no bearing on history or fact other than hate and control. Get out of here with that, Como. You're lying to the people again, talking about misinformation. Hmm? Well, what happened to the lying, the hiding of data, and so on? Don't you think the people have a right to know what really went on? But you trying to say that everyone else is wrong, and until we fan this out amongst ourselves, the big dogs up top, you niggas down there shut your mouth and don't say nothing. Just let me work it. You got to come off of some of the garbage. You as an elected official, I told you, I don't care what nobody say. You could call yourself attacking whoever you want to attack. Attack me then. Let me get up there and speak on television and watch me rock you. I ain't scared of you or none of y'all, because people got to learn to separate uh, the human population and the population of people in the society from the government itself. Because if you're not going to protect the people and these kind of stunts that you playing, talking about misinformation, and then we got you up there going back and forth and yada yada yada, then the question still remains, Como, who's really lying? We're not children. What's wrong with you? Like I said, what happened to the lying and the hiding of the data? And all kinds of other stuff prior to this. Not just this. So don't act as if people haven't been watching and you just been slicking behind closed doors. Enough is enough. You know what I'm saying? We're not kids. You know what I mean? Hiding the data and so on. Hmm. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? You know, you telling stories. You just don't want people to tell the truth. I don't know what you got against the truth, is what I don't understand. You know what I'm saying? To me, it's just another call it out on freedom. You know? You trying to call it out on that. You're going to call it that, attack on people. So now you're taking the blame or the game off of yourself and putting it on the regular people and making them the enemy while you the good guy. Told you, they're good for doing that stupid shit. You know what I mean? Now to me, he wants to silence the truth. We need truths, not wicked behavior. Then he's saying 100 died because of misinformation. 100 didn't die because of misinformation. Not on the people's part. That's a lie. Because the people are the victims of the virus. So if they're speaking out, they're only speaking out for the protection of themselves and their comrades. What part you missing? Come on. Suppressing my information based on straight misinformation. While you wove in this game of vaccines. And when anybody have anything to say, you bring down the Gestapo, just like before the war. Tapping into you think I don't know you watching me right now? You know, that type of mind frame is what really screwed up this world to begin with. Wanting people to follow or be able that if the people don't follow, then you send down the troops and bang them into following you. And when their neighbors see that, and probably have some of the neighbors even working for them. And they mean that they're going to bang you into truth, but nothing they have, even historically, is factual. So that means that all you ever did was went around and bully people. Same as a child would do in school. No wonder bullying was so popular in America. Anyway, but that's all you do. But when we check historical facts, we check where you got your science from, we check with a whole lot of things that you have nothing. And rather than use your mentality to advance to a higher level based on a nothing, Johnny come lately, you steady on some hate shit and stealing people's shit and saying it's yours. Same with the Arabs, same with all other races that did it to African people all over the world. So what you talking about? All you do is want to bully people. And whenever you say something must go down, then it must go down. If you say everybody must go home and eat a spoon of doo-doo, and it's mandatory because that'll help us, you expect the people to run out and do that have no difference of opinion. That is unfair, un-American, and definitely not freedom. So people need to wake up as to what this man is saying. We're not saying that if there's a virus, there shouldn't be some way of combating it. Who said that? And where did Como get that from? I don't know about other people, but that's not what I'm saying. Good medicine is always good. I believe in the medical field. But if the medical field is corrupted, then how can anyone trust it? And that's an onslaught, an attack that should not be happening. No one should use the medical field as any kind of trickery football kicking down the field game. People need honest, good, clean medicines. You guys have seemed to want to change that to something else. And then when somebody says something, they shouldn't say nothing. Just take the bullion and run. And you're using other people in the community as the comrades of the society of people of America as a whole to police each other. That should only be within a criminal context, not medical. People have choices, Como. Let's get back to that. Since when your choice is the only choice, and then when somebody says something, you want to say that I'm going to run down on you, I'm going to do misinformation, I'm not going to let you attack the people, I'm not. All the blame is on the people. Ain't that ironic and psychological stupidness? That's all that is to me. And he needs to cut it out. You know what I mean? Como needs to get off the fact of even speaking about anything to do with misinformation, because if a whole bunch of people are saying it, then you're going to have to arrest everybody because a lot of people have different opinions and a lot don't agree with you. Since when people can't disagree? Not in Como's world. You can't disagree. He can disagree. He can do stuff. But you can't have nothing to say, much less do stuff. Well, I don't know what he's really talking about. But he needs to get himself together and stop coming down on the people based on anything to do with what he calls misinformation. Nobody's here to hurt anybody in the public. All people wants to protect each other. It's the same thing if you're riding down the road and you see a person with a flat tire. A lot of times people would like to stop and help them out. They don't necessarily always do so, but somebody sometimes usually, stops, help the person out, get the tire going, get him back on the road. That's the American way. And it's a human way. That's like seeing a grandmother out there with a flat tire on 495, you know what I'm saying? And I ride by and I see the ladies of an elderly age. She's not going to be out there changing no tire, especially in the winter when it's cold and your hands are freezing. By a dangerous highway. You dig? I'll pull over and probably try to help her. Get her back on the road, get her moving from that area. That's what we do. Now you want to blame the people when they're doing so. Because you want to slide this in with no talk. You want to try to bring that Gestapo shit like in Germany just before the war. We're not in trouble. We're the victims, come on. You need to wake up. So all that you're talking about misinformation and how you're going to attack it and you're not going to let it happen and this and that. So what you're going to do, bang out the people for speaking some form of truth or suspicion into lining them up in FEMA camps and taking a poisonous vaccine while you didn't take it. What are you talking about? You're not that stupid, and don't think that I think that you're just that stupid to go take a vaccine that you know is experimental and don't know whether or not it's working, what the side effects may be. Come on, you didn't take it. You took a salt and water version, or you never took it at all and avoided the point. Now you want to blame everybody else. We've got to come off of that. Same thing they're doing with me on Facebook, YouTube, and all my videos everywhere, trying to suppress the game. But it's okay, because like I said, I'll talk to everybody right now. And I'll show them facts and then tell them to tell from one to another. So either way, people are still going to get the info based on that. So YouTube and Susan Wojcicki and the rest of them, if you keep that shit up, I'm going to form a suit. I'm going to do a class act. I'm going to sue the shit out of you. I'm going to sue you. And I'm going to take it all the way to the Supreme Court if I have to. Don't think I don't know how to bring a lawsuit. I've been practicing that for a while. I know how to even do the paperwork. And a notarized affidavit and all that different stuff that y'all be talking about. Because you intend to suppress freedom of voice. You want to suppress the freedom of voice to swindle everybody into a scheme that y'all all cooked up on the left. And across the waters too. Why is the vaccines German and not American? You see, you're suppressing certain things that, we on to, But today I'm not going to rock you. I'm just speaking on what Comer had to say today. You know what I'm saying? You can't be coming out on the people. Coming out on them for what? So now you made it even worse. Dummy. How? Because now the people going to talk from one to another and you're not going to hear it. You think because everybody going to have them nanobots in the system, you'll be able to do that. But somewhere or another, the information going to pass from one to another. So just doing that is only going to make it worse. It's going to show a deeper distrust in the government. Rather than Comer bringing trust to the government, in his misinformation speech, he is now driving the people away with more distrust to the government. So he's not good for government, and he's foolish and a loose cannon. Matter of fact, he's a loose cannon worse than Trump. If everybody called Trump a loose cannon, then what is Cuomo? He's definitely a loose cannon. They better do something because he's gonna end up telling all their information and getting himself in a whole lot of stuff that he shouldn't be in, and causing a lot of people to uproar and causing a lot of violence here in New York, while you have our former president, Mr. Obama, talking about a nationwide coronavirus surveillance system. Yeah, because we putting them down about some people's system. But anyway, that's your problem. You know what I mean? To me, the social left really is Klansmen. I don't care what nobody say. And neo-Nazi movements based on Adolf and Adolf Hitler and all those type of people in Albert Pike and them. And it's foolishness. You know? Where did you get your riches from? Everybody always talking about rich.